The Marian writer, your book is going to be great. Just put one word in front of the other. On the writer, until we hit a plot hole. Nope, no negativity. You drop into that hole, see what you can learn from it. Clamber out and finish your draft. You can edit a bad book, but not a blank page. What you don't realize is that it's not a bad plot at all. It's a hiding place for a massive plot twist. They're easy to mix up at first. Slams the table. Oh, you can edit a bad book, but not a blank page. I need to hear that today, thanks. Well, what you don't realize is that it's not a plot hole at all. It's a hiding place for a massive plot twist. They're easy to mix up at first. I talked about before about adding plot twists for the sake of a plot twist, without setting it up beforehand and all that. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this all, because in the first book I ever tried to write, I tried to do something. I thought I was smart when I did this. I did this kind of thing where I would write, and then I would examine what I had written, and I would try to look for what issues cropped up in the world I was creating. And I was like, let me create a very, very freaking complex solution to this obvious plot issue. And this kept happening, where I would add in, because my book was a science fiction, there were all these issues that came up with some of the concepts I was introducing. So I was like, let me create a very convoluted solution to all of them somehow. And it just came out so horrible. It was just terrible. Like, for example, in that story, there were high-frequency blades. High-frequency blade as in a blade that vibrated quickly enough that it could cut through pretty much anything. Now, the issue I realized with that is that, for one, it's pretty much a lightsaber at that point, and you could very easily cut yourself. Well, actually, no, it wasn't that. That was not the issue. Let me try to remember. Right. The issue that I came up with is that I kind of wanted the fight scenes in that book to be kind of reminiscent of medieval dueling. Medieval knight dueling. At that time I watched a lot of videos from Scalagrim and Shadversity and a bunch of channels that got into, actual historical warfare and historical combat. And so I wanted to implement that in my science fiction book somehow. Right? And so it was like, my book had high frequency blades I could cut through pretty much anything. And the characters also had exosuit armor. They had, high-tech armor, right? So the issue was that, it doesn't make sense that they would even be wearing armor if they just have this magical sci-fi blade that could cut through anything. So I came up with a convoluted solution to that, which is, it's high frequency, but it has like a recharge, and it has like there's specific timings for when you should do it. And I mean, come to think of it now, maybe I could have made that actually make sense, and actually make it kind of interesting, because I guess it's kind of similar to what Dune did. What I did is kind of similar to what Dune did to explain why, it's a future setting with spaceships, so people are still using swords to fight the wars. I could have technically make it work, but I don't know. It's just, looking back on it now, I kind of cringe a little bit. I don't know. I should maybe dredge up that old abomination of a first draft and read through it. I've had ideas to actually make a second draft, or more like a 1.5 draft, because I don't even want to call what I did a first draft. There is one point of pride in that book that I have, which is I stuck to it to the end, right? There was a certain point where I realized it was terrible. There was. It wasn't like I was an idiot all to the end. There was, like, by the middle, I understood this was terrible. This is not going to work. This is not something this isn't going to work. I knew that, but I kept through it because I wanted to see what it was like to finish a book. even if it was something that would never see the light of day, I wanted to finish it to at least see how it felt like and see, what I can learn. And ending that, when I ended that book, honestly, I kind of had mixed feelings. On one side, it kind of lifted the weight off my shoulders because now I could write other things and start fresh and do something that was actually good. On the other hand, I almost kind of felt like I wasted my time, but at the same time, I did learn a lot. I don't know. I have so many mixed feelings about that first draft, that abomination, that Frankenstein abomination. It's not even a joke. Okay, that book was literally a Frankenstein abomination. I cobbled together things that interested me at that time together, tried to create a book, and it just did not mesh together at all.